Mehanni, and this week's muscle conditioning and pelvic floor safe tip is using the Swiss ball, which we're going to be sitting on, and using a couple of dumbbells. Primary muscle group that we're going to be working today is biceps. When you've got the ball, it helps with challenging a whole bunch of other muscles at the same time, as well as keeping your pelvic floor in a very safe position. So, start off by sitting on top of the ball. Now, if you have a slippery floor, a tile floor or a wooden floor, it's great to use a non-slip surface, a bit like a yoga mat, so that you don't feel like you're going to slide off the ball. Because with originally starting with this exercise, we don't actually start by just sitting in a really comfortable position on top of the ball, although you can if you wish. There's absolutely nothing wrong with sitting on top of the ball and performing a bicep curl. And if this is your first time with exercising or you have beginners in the class, that's the ideal position for them to be in. So being mindful of posture, lifting up at the crown of the head, lifting up to the back of the neck, making sure that there's a small arch in the lower back. So thinking about posture, arms come down either side of the body and then all the way down and up. So make sure that the arms fully extend on either side of the body. I'll just show you from this angle, so that the arms go all the way down. A common error when people are in this position is they just bring their dumbbells down and rest them on top of their thighs, and you can see very clearly I'm not getting good range of motion. So we want the arms to go all the way down either side of the body. Try to keep the balls motionless as possible, and if you're thinking pelvic floor, perform the bicep curl really slowly and think about lifting the pelvic floor as the weight goes up and then relaxing it down as the weight comes down. So lift the pelvic floor up and then relax it as it goes down. You can also focus on getting that small abdominal contraction just down low across the hips, and this is a great exercise to focus all that attention on. And the main reason being is that because the ball is curved, there's some pressure and there's kinesthetic awareness around the perineum, so that you can actually almost feel that sensation of lifting away from the ball and then relaxing down to the ball. So that's a cool plus if you're someone that does a lot of pelvic floor training, and or you have women in your classes. I mean, it's also men too, but women tend to have a lot more issues with pelvic floor for a variety of different reasons. Okay, so here we are, we've got the bicep curl, and this is what I would call the most beginner position. So if I want to make the exercise a little bit more challenging, I encourage clients to walk their feet a little bit further forwards. So instead of sitting at 12 o'clock, you're sitting on 11 o'clock. So this is why it's really important to have a non-slip surface, so that you've shifted your weight forwards. Now, the trick here is to make sure the knees stay above the ankle. Because a common error, especially with my clients, they love to roll back, okay, so the feet haven't moved, and then they start to slouch, and this looks great, doesn't it? Okay, tummy out, shoulders rounded, fantastic. So get them forwards, it helps with maintaining good position with the spine. The more forwards they are, the better it is, or the easier it is to maintain good posture. It really is much easier. And again, you can do that pelvic floor lift. You're going to feel the kinesthetic awareness more towards the back passage rather than the whole way through, but it's all good. It's all good. So that's option number 2. Option number 3, to make it more challenging, is to bring the feet together and knees together. And once again, maintain knees directly above the ankles. So once I've taken my feet away from being wide to being narrow, it increases the challenge with stability on the ball. And you'll just notice a difference, yeah? But if you're someone that's been using the Swiss ball for a long time, you might want to take one leg forwards and then release. Take the other leg forwards and release. And the trick to this is to do it without moving too much. Okay, so let me just show you front on so you can see what I mean. What you want to see is a really hardly any movement from one leg to the other. You may notice that you tend to move a little bit more one way than you do the other. So we are a little bit unbalanced, all of us, not just physically. Okay, so here, and then relax. Okay, you want to avoid where you're actually moving a lot from side to side. So you've got to be able to bring your feet together to be able to do the next level, because you've got to be able to bring your foot down pretty much in the same position to where the other one was, so you can stay stable. And the final option is to keep one leg up off the floor the entire time. Now, when we start progressing, it's really super important that you monitor your own technique, And if you're a group fitness instructor, monitor your classes technique, yeah? Because this is what will happen if people are working at a level that's too challenging for them. So check out my posture. So I'm here, I'm all good. I start moving the feet, it's a little bit hard, so I'm going to rock back. Now, once I start doing this, challenge is completely gone. Other than my biceps working, I'm not really feeling this in my abdominals. I can actually stay reasonably still here. So it's really important that people maintain that posture, knees over the ankles as they lift one leg up. That changes the exercise altogether. It's much more demanding, much more difficult. So watch for that real subtle roll back, abdominal protruding motion where their shoulders start to round, because it definitely looks similar and it sort of looks like you're lifting your foot up off the floor, but it's a very different exercise and you actually lose that ability to maintain the control around your midsection while you're performing bicep curl. So great pelvic floor safe exercise, an alternative for doing biceps, really cool from a pelvic floor lift and also activation through the abdominals, especially when you start progressing to the more challenging options. And that's this week's muscle conditioning tip.